And now, straight out of Boston, Massachusetts, it's time for Entertainment Talk Nation, your number one entertainment talk show, discussing everything from the movies to video games and more. And now, here is your host, Robert Rosado.
All right. We actually have some stuff to talk about today. All right, we're going to be looking at the Xbox, which had a little promo video today that came out. We're going to talk about the Avengers review, and then we're going to look at the first 3 episodes of The Boys, which I did get to watch last week. It'll be no spoilers for those who haven't seen it, so no worries there. And we're also going to discuss everything regarding Mulan, including the early reviews are in. I have not seen it. I have no interest in seeing it. I'll talk about that in a little bit. We're also going to talk a little bit about wrestling. I've fallen off on watching wrestling, but I have been keeping up with the pay-per-views, and there's this one thing I want to touch on. And then, of course, we'll have a bullshit segment at the very end. So before I get started on all these topics, I wanted to start off by talking about the channel. As you guys know, I've been running this channel since late 2013. And, well, Godzilla made this channel very, very popular in the early years. And I'm very, very happy about that. I'm a huge Godzilla fan. A lot of you know that. I have been watching Godzilla since I was a little 3-year-old and have been watching ever since. And one of my greatest joys when I started doing this YouTube channel, is learning that there are so many other Godzilla fans out there. And with that said, obviously Godzilla comes and goes. You know, he goes in surges, and then he kind of dies down a little bit, and then he kind of resurges again. No pun intended for the Shin Gojira movie. And I have, on this channel, I've gotten to a point where I was feeling like, well, if I don't have anything to talk about in regards to Godzilla, then I have no videos to do. It took me a little while to really kind of remember what motivated me to start this channel. And what motivated me is just the fact that I love entertainment. I love the escapism of it all. You guys know I'm a family man. I got 2 kids, my wife. I work, and when I work hard. And I love coming to watch a movie or watch a TV show, play a video game, and just get away from the daily grind, the monotony of what real life has to offer. And with the surge in popularity with Godzilla, along with the growth of my channel at the time, I kind of lost that direction so much. And I'm at the point now where I want to kind of get back to what I really wanted to do with this channel originally. And it's taken a while because it almost means, number one, starting fresh, and number 2, possibly alienating the majority of the viewers who watch my videos. But you know what? That's okay, because there are many other forms of entertainment that I love that are not Godzilla related. And that doesn't mean that Godzilla will never have a home here. Obviously he will. But I will say he will never have a home here like he did before. And I want to make that very clear from the outset of this new podcast episode. We're starting fresh. And I want people to know that Godzilla will always have videos done here, but it will never be like it was back in the day. And I want to make that very clear, and I want to be very forthcoming. Everything regarding entertainment will be discussed on this channel going forward. And where I can do reviews, I will. But I am not going to review anything I have no interest in, and I'm not going to follow the trends. I am going to do this because I love it. I'm going to talk about shows and movies that I am interested in and that I enjoy. And I will likely not be following any kind of trend or nothing will be motivated because it's the popular thing. If I don't like it, I don't like it. And if I don't like it, I won't be talking about it. With that said, let's get into Godzilla. So let's talk some Godzilla news, huh? Yep. So what do we have for Godzilla vs. Kong in terms of news? Well, to be quite honest, absolutely nothing. And that's just how I want to start and set the tone here. Sorry, Godzilla. Sorry about that. Absolutely nothing to talk about Godzilla. So let's move on. I want to start by talking about the Xbox Series S. First, before we even start, let's watch this trailer for the Xbox Series X that they released earlier today, and let's see what you guys think about that. It's about a 1 minute and 34-second trailer. For those of you who might listen to this on audio only. Well, that's the new look. You know, I gotta say, I know a lot of people are probably not gonna like that design. What is that? I mean, obviously that's where I guess the heat will vent out. Next gen performance, all digital gaming experience. Next gen frame rates up to 120. Controller is always good. Xbox usually makes good controllers. High quality games. Optimized for next gen. All right. So, all right. So Microsoft is the first to drop the prices for their system. So interesting enough, here's the thing. Now, what we know about the Xbox Series S so far is that, as far as I know, up to the point of this recording and this episode, the only thing the only thing we know so far that it's not going to have is a media drive. Now, the Xbox Series X is going to be $499.99. I think that's a fine price point for this generation. However, the Xbox Series S is going to be $299.99. And I can tell you right now, that $200 is not the media. The media is not that expensive. You know, the basically the CD-ROM, the blue disc ROM, is not going to be a value of $200. So I'm interested to see what exactly are they dropping here. Now, it does say here a custom 512 gigabyte solid state drive. Earlier reports before this dropped was saying that it was still going to have a terabyte. So maybe that's where they also cut some cost, a smaller solid state drive. Is it possible that a smaller SSD and media could run them a $200 savings at retail? I'm not sure. But I would suspect that if they're going to run this as a digital media console, strictly digital games, then it's going to have everything else that the other system has. It is smaller. A lot of people are probably going to complain, if they haven't already, about how the system looks. I, for one, don't care. I don't care how a system looks, because chances are when I attach it to my TV and I connect it and I set everything up, I'm not going to see the machine except when I put a disc in it. So I don't really care how it looks, but I know there's some people that matters to them. That's fine. I can see this one being heavily criticized, as was the Xbox Series X. So, but the price point is good, I think. I think it's a fair price point. Question is, will PlayStation match that price point? They have to. They would have to. I can't see PlayStation going no more than $100 more, because maybe people, I believe after this generation and the fact that pretty much every Xbox game tends to come out on PC, and considering that Sony tends to, at least last generation, and I'm assuming leading into this one, have had the advantage when it comes to either getting exclusives or 6-month early exclusives, that type of thing. So it'll be interesting to see how Sony responds. I feel if Sony responds with the same price point, they'll probably win this generation again. If they respond with a little higher price point, which I have a feeling they are, then it'll be a closer race. For those who care. I don't. I won't buy an Xbox, not because I don't like Xbox or Microsoft, but simply because most of their games come out on PC. I'm a PC enthusiast. I play a lot of my games on PC, and I always have preferred Sony, but I have owned a Sony and an Xbox in the past, and I'm not against doing it again, but if I can get most of Microsoft games on a PC, then I'm always going to go with PC first. So just my preference. I'm not saying PC master race or anything. My world, I would own all the consoles. It just doesn't make sense for me to own an Xbox right now when their games come out on PC and I can just get it there. So, all right. I want to move into a quick discussion and review on the first 3 episodes of The Boys. I'm not going to get into spoilers. Surprisingly, there are still some people who haven't watched it yet. I don't know what you're doing. Crawl out of the rock you're under. COVID will not kill you if you are under 40. So relax, go watch The Boys. But I can tell you right now, They don't waste any time picking up where they left off with last season. And I find the first 3 episodes to be a lot more graphically violent than I recall it being in the first 3 episodes of last season. That's not something I have a problem with. I'm just saying that's one of the things I noticed right off the set. Very interesting dynamic with, you know, I feel like I got to walk on eggshells here because I don't want to spoil it, because I've already had some people in the viewers here that are watching this live have already told me they haven't watched it, and I really want to tiptoe around. So you know what? I'll just talk about how I like it so far, and I like it a lot. Honestly, I like it a lot. You know, I think that I love the fact that it picks up where it left off. I love the fact that we are seeing a little bit more detail with certain characters that we may not have gotten in the first. Again, I don't want to get into anyone specific because, again, I don't know what people consider major spoilers these days. But I will say, if you have an opportunity to watch it and you haven't watched it yet, I suggest you go do it. It's really, really good, strong start. I'm a little disappointed that we can't binge it. I would have liked to have done that, but I think Amazon is being smart by peeling it out episode by episode, really, really letting the viewerships jump on a Friday. Every time the new episode comes out, there'll be another one this Friday, will be episode 4. And you see a lot of interesting character dynamics for example, the Deep. You get to dive into him a little bit more. You get to kind of some real funny scenes with him and some trippy scenes with him. You get to see new heroes, and you see that Homelander is just such a great character. He's a character you either love to hate or hate to love. You see a very interesting dynamic with Homelander and the effects of growing up a super. And you see that while we know Homelander is a great threat, I mean, he's proven that. He proved that last year. You see that there might be a bigger threat on the horizon, and something that even has him concerned. And I got to say, I'm really looking forward to the rest of the season. I don't want to get any further into it other than to say that the first 3 episodes are very good. There's a lot of character dynamics. There's some characters being fleshed out a little bit more and giving a little bit more background that I think really helps the show. And they really position new threats this season in such a good way. It doesn't follow what I'd like to call the status quo. You understand? You go into this thinking, Homelander, we know what he is. He's the big bad. Stop right there. That's not necessarily true. So I'm very interested, and I'm going to stop there. I'm very, very interested to see how it goes. And then, of course, for those of you who did see season 1, we're going to see what happens, obviously, with Stargirl, I think her name is. I might be saying, I think that's the DC one. But again, there's a lot going on. There's a lot in these first 3 episodes that I'm really giddy about. I'm really excited about. But I really can't say much without spoiling it. What I'm saying basically is these first 3 episodes are not any buildup. There's no waiting. You kind of get where they're going within these first 3 episodes. And once you get that message, the only thing you're waiting for now is to see where it's going to go. There's no filler so far in these first 3 episodes. There's no carrying you 3 or 4 or 5 episodes in to see where things pick up from the final season, from last season, season 1. It picks up and then it keeps going. It just keeps going. It's like a train. You know what I mean? It just goes. So if you haven't seen it, go see it. I'm enjoying it. We'll do a full spoiler review on the season towards the end. I'll continue covering the episodes on the podcast or the following podcast when they're shown and when I next do an episode. So definitely go check out The Boys if you haven't seen it yet. Really, really good show, man. I really like the writing on that show. All right, I'm going to move on and we're gonna turn back around into gaming. So Avengers. Now, I wanted to originally get up my review for this game on Friday. The reason I didn't is because I hadn't really tackled multiplayer. And then I said, okay, well, I have Friday all day. I'll tackle multiplayer all day Friday, and I'll put my review up Saturday. as you noticed, there was no review Saturday. There was no review Sunday. Monday was a holiday, so I wasn't doing videos or anything. However, I finally did get to play multiplayer yesterday. Avengers is a very polarizing game for me because on one hand, I enjoy it when I'm playing it, when it's working, when things are falling into place. You've probably heard a million people say it, and I'm going to reiterate. The campaign is a lot of fun. It's made me into a Miss Marvel fan, which I never thought would happen because she was one of the things that almost kept me from even trying the game. So kudos to the writers on that part. You're not going to have any issues, I think, with the campaign outside of the normal issues that are being delivered with AAA games when they first launch, which is they're always a buggy mess. This game is no exception. Even when I live streamed it last week, we had bugs happening in the middle of my gameplay. When you get to the post game, things take a pretty significant dip. Essentially, if you don't have any friends to play with, because as of right now, as of this podcast recording, as of talking about this on this date, September 8th, you cannot find a multiplayer game to save your life. If this game is supposed to be a live service, and part of the experience is the multiplayer multiplayer game mode where you go out there, you get together with people, whether it's your friends or just some stranger, good luck. I only got to play multiplayer yesterday because I played with my buddy Rob. And look, when we got into the game and we started running different, strike missions and all this, I had a blast. But if you do not have a consistent person to play with, and if the multiplayer continues, which I don't think it's going to continue very long, but for the time being, I had this game for a week. Before yesterday, I got into 2 multiplayer matches, and that's not without trying. And you know what would happen if I didn't connect to a multiplayer game? I turned it off. Now, you can do multiplayer with companions. You can take your AI companions into the missions with you, and you can do a 4-man with the AI. Is it doable? Absolutely. Is it fun? No. And that's not because the AI is incompetent. It doesn't necessarily mean that the AI is very smart, because they're not. But the AI is competent enough to do certain missions, but there will be missions that you cannot do with the AI. For example, there is a mission where you have to find secret hidden caches of shield loot. Sometimes when you get to the cache, you have to have one person stand in a location while the other player goes and unlocks the vault. The reason you have to have one player standing in front of the vault entrance, keeping the computer, I guess, on, for lack of a better term, while the other person runs around and unlocks different locks for the vault. You cannot do this with an AI. The AI will not be smart enough to go to the right number. The AI will not be smart enough to stand in one spot because they all follow you. This is a problem. This is a problem if multiplayer is not working properly and you cannot do certain missions. And this is very frustrating if you're in the early game of post-game, because those vault missions are part of a quest line that's necessary to unlock other missions that are multiplayer. So if you can't find anyone to play with, and you don't have a consistent buddy that you can call at night to get onto the game and double up, well, then you have to wait until they fix this. Now, I'm pretty sure they're going to patch it up this week. There's supposed to be a patch coming, and hopefully matchmaking will work better. But despite the faulty reviews, despite all the negative attention this game is getting, I know for a fact there are people out there playing. The fact that I can't connect with anyone is pretty ridiculous. This should have been the number one thing that they made sure worked on launch, and it did not. Unacceptable. So I will say this. I enjoy the game when I can play with people. If I can't play with people, the game is worth nothing to me. And considering that I beat the game 2 days after I got it, and from, I would say, Friday, Thursday night, all the way till Monday night, I could not catch a multiplayer game until obviously Monday night when I got together with my friend and we played. So if I'm going to number a review for Avengers, I would give it a 6 with a pending. And I say pending because we all know how these AAA games do it. They launch, they're crap, there's messes, there's bugs, there's issues, and they get better 6 months down the road because of patches, updates, they redo things, and that's all fine and well. But the only chance you have of keeping people playing this game right now is multiplayer, because that is the only time it's fun. After the campaign, if you don't have anyone to play with, you're not going to have fun with the game. Why? Because you won't be playing it. You'll be subject to do only certain missions with other ones out the window, and you won't progress as quickly as you might want to. Sure, you can power level your characters in the time being, but that gets a little redundant after a while. So Avengers the potential is there. Unfortunately, I don't see the potential of this game hitting its peak until 6 months down the road. There's a lot of issues they got to fix. There's a lot of DLC that people are going to have to wait for. The first DLC character, I believe, is Kate Bishop at the end of either this month or October. I'm not seeing people doing the wave for Kate Bishop. I'm certainly not. I was hoping Spider-Man would come out a lot sooner. Now the word is that Spider-Man won't be coming until March 2021. So, this game is, I did it because I wanted to do a review. I wanted to do some game content. I knew against my better will that I should not be purchasing a game like this early. It's for those of you who watch me regularly and watch me stream, I said many times, a lot of the reasons I never do game content is because I'm not the kind of person to buy a game at launch, but I want to do gaming content. I bought the game on launch, and I feel like shooting myself in the nuts with a shotgun for doing it. Otherwise, fun game if you can play it. I have fun when I'm playing it, but that's the problem. I didn't play it very much until yesterday because I couldn't find a matchmaking. So, Avengers, I would say wait 6 months, and by then it'll be cheaper. Most of the DLC will be out, and it'll probably work a lot better than it does now. So that is my final verdict on Avengers. 6 with a pending. Will I come back and upgrade that pending? Probably not. It's a matter of whether I'm still playing the game by then or not. So we'll see. Okay, now I want to do a quick stop at wrestling before we move on to this Mulan mess, or whatever you want to call it. Now, I was watching I've been watching wrestling consistently up until COVID hit. When COVID hit, I'm sorry to say, it just was not entertaining anymore. It really goes to show you just how impactful the crowd is when they are at a wrestling event, when they're actually there cheering, popping for big moves and big things. But when you hear glass, like a pin drop in the arena while two guys are duking it out in the ring, just not as exciting. With that said, I still have been keeping up with the pay-per-views. I still watch the pay-per-views, and this weekend I watched the AEW pay-per-view All Out. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is because I saw the most stupidest decision probably ever made during a pay-per-view, probably ever in wrestling. Matt Hardy was wrestling Sammy Guevara, and they had a kind of one of those no rules, last man standing kind of match. First person down and counted out to 10 loses. Stipulation was that if Matt Hardy loses, he leaves AEW and all that good stuff. 5 minutes into this match, Sammy Guevara and Matt Hardy they're kind of in an arena, a football arena, I believe, football stadium. And it's very similar to their last pay-per-view where it was Matt Hardy and the Elite versus Jericho and his people. So very similar setting, only this time it was Guevara versus Hardy. And they get up onto a table, they're duking it out, and they fall off the table, and Matt Hardy's, the back of his head, literally bounces off the concrete. He is completely out. You know, he's moving around, but you can see like he's not there. This guy's got a concussion. It's so clear and so evident. The referee, I know her name is Aubrey. I forgot her last name. She does the right thing. She calls the X. If you watch wrestling, X means serious injury, bring somebody down. Doctor comes down. Now, before this happened, Sammy Guevara tried to kind of, bide some time. And there was one point where they were just kind of on the floor throwing punches, but you can see Matt Hardy's just wailing, like he's just not there. Then Sammy tries to kind of pick him up, and it's bad. His feet are dragging. He literally falls over to the floor. This is when they call the medic over. Medic comes over, checks on Matt. The bell rings. The match is over. Very evident that this was a great call. Very evident that he cannot go on. And I'm thinking, okay, we're going to move on to the next match. Matt Hardy finally makes it to his feet. And you can see, like, his bell is rung. But he's starting to move on his feet on his own. And he's walking up a ramp. He's calling out Sammy's name. He walks all the way up to the ramp leading back into the ring. As he gets to the arena, Sammy Guevara comes out, tries to surprise attack Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy catches him, starts beating him up. The bell rings again. And the match resumes. Now, this man clearly has a concussion. This was one of the most stupidest things you could do during a wrestling event. It doesn't matter what he said after. It doesn't matter if Matt Hardy comes out, I was fine, blah, blah, blah. No, you don't mess with that kind of thing. Then to top it off, they start the match again, and 5 minutes later, it's over. Matt Hardy, crazy, climbs to the top of the rafters following Sammy Guevara, knocks him off the top of the rafters. Sammy Guevara gets counted out to 10. I enjoy wrestling. I think wrestling is, again, one of those entertainment venues I love to escape, and I've gotten into it a lot more over the last 5 years. Again, it's been very hard to watch during the COVID with no audience, but this was probably one of the worst things I've ever seen in any wrestling event. And even with my gap of watching wrestling for like 8 years, I've been watching wrestling since I was a kid, since I was about 9 or 10 years old. And this is probably one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. I mean, if you had seen the way his head bounces off the concrete, there's no way in hell this man should have kept wrestling. So I think it's a bad move by AEW. I think it was a very, very bad call. It looked like a good call at first, but apparently the medic is the one that reversed the call. He said, no, he can go. Bad move on that. I'm not saying he should lose his job, but maybe he needs to be reprimanded. Maybe he needs some better training on how to recognize a concussion, because everybody else saw it. I just think it was a bad move. I like Matt Hardy. He's one of my favorite wrestlers. He's been around for years, and to see a wrestler that you like, a wrestler that you've been following ever since his career started, you don't want them going out like that. So I just wanted to kind of throw that in there and say my piece on that, because I just thought that was a very, very stupid move on AEW and that medic to let him continue wrestling. And they better hope he doesn't have any permanent damage from that going forward. Okay, let's move on to Mulan. I didn't mean that. I really didn't mean that. It just happened that way. All right, so Mulan released on Disney Plus for $30 over the weekend. I have no interest in watching this movie. Main reason is because it strips away everything that they did in the animated series. Excuse me, not animated series, animated movie. Animated Mulan is one of my favorites. It's got a great musical soundtrack. The story is very, very good. You see Mulan start as someone who knows nothing about military and training and works her way to gain the respect of her peers simply because of what she can accomplish on the battlefield, simply because of her natural leadership, leading by example. This movie doesn't have any of that in terms of the music. The music's completely stripped. There's no Mushu, which is one of the greatest comic reliefs in the original animated movie. And with that alone, I decided not to watch it. I said out to myself, I'm not going to see this. It just doesn't have the elements of the animated movie that I like. This is a trend with a lot of the Disney live movies. I'm not saying all of them have been bad. I thought Cinderella was very good. I remember going to see that and taking my daughter to see it and my wife. I thought Beauty and the Beast was very good, but I also thought that The Lion King was mediocre. I thought Aladdin was better than I expected it to be, but not nearly as good as the animated movie. And that's that. I think overall these animated to live action Disney films have been a big drag. The box office will not tell you that, but just because you make a lot of money doesn't mean that you're putting out a good product. Now, I went and I saw everybody's review. Not everybody's, but I read some reviews. I did see some content creator reviews, and it pretty much confirms what I suspected beyond what I knew, which is that the movie has no heart. However, if you go to Rotten Tomatoes, you wouldn't know because obviously I think last I checked earlier today, it was a 73% fresh rating, and I believe 48% critic viewer rating. And I think at the time I had about, I want to say a couple of thousand. You know what? Let's check right now. Let's check right now how it's looking on Rotten Tomato. So, whoops, wrong one. Let's look at the two that showed me the 1998. Okay, so we're at 77% fresh. We're at 55% audience score with a user with 6,561 ratings. So this is why I no longer go to Rotten Tomatoes. Lost my word for a minute there, excuse me. Rotten Tomatoes is just a bunch of critics that I mean, if the movie matches a certain tone or a certain agenda, or if it empowers women in a way where they don't earn it, because one of the things I've been hearing about this movie is that Mulan does not earn things in this movie the way she did in the original. She essentially just has this chi power, and she conceals it for the benefit of her father, and then finally unleashes it at the end. So she's always had the power. She's the one. Where in the animated movie, she actually has to train. She actually has to work her ass off to not only be respected, but also just to be in the same kind of fighting shape that her peers are in. That is a much more engaging tale. That is a much more closer to heart than someone who already has the power and just decides to use it at the very end. But for some reason, there's a lot of critics out there that love this when it comes to female empowerment movies. The females already have the power. They don't have to earn it. They just have it. They're number one, so on and so forth. We've seen this with Rey in Star Wars, the new Star Wars trilogy. And the thing is I don't even necessarily hate Rey. I just don't like the way she was written. But I thought I had always wanted a female Jedi. I think I've said that many times. But to focus here on Mulan, this movie, again, I'm just not going to watch it. That's just the end of it. I'm not going to watch it. I might check it out when it's free in December. Now, I want to be fair here. There's a lot of people criticizing this movie for being $30. And then, I've heard people complaining, well, what is this? You pay $6 or $8 a month for Disney Plus, and then now you got to pay another $30. Well, to be fair, this is a movie that was supposed to come out in theaters. If you had went to the theaters to see this, you'll probably be paying more money. Even if you go by yourself, when you look at the price point being $30, if you go to a movie by yourself, you're going to spend maybe up to $15 for the ticket. I'm sure it's less other places. It varies. But let's say on average, you're paying $15 for the ticket alone. You go get your popcorn, you go get your soda pop. Before you know it, you spent more than $30. Now, that's where if a person goes alone. If you're going with two people, you're definitely spending over $30. Easily. For $30, you get to get this movie and your whole family gets to watch it. So the price point to me is fair. It really is if you break it down like that. However, the question should be, are you going to spend $30 to see a movie you're just not going to enjoy, which is why I didn't watch it. I have two kids. me and my wife and my 2 kids would have definitely sat down to watch this movie if we had any interest. We did not. We might check it out in December when it comes out. But that's not where it ends for Mulan. There's another controversy surrounding this movie in which Disney, well, I'm guessing that this was a requirement by the Chinese government. As the credits were rolling, people noticed that Disney was thanking China, CCP, and Xinjiang for, allowing them to produce the movie there and this and that. And now it's been confirmed that they filmed some scenes in this city in China. The problem there is that this is where there have been a lot of human rights issues. Now, I know there's a lot of people, before I get into this, because I already had this discussion earlier today with someone on the Nation Facebook page. I know you guys hate politics. I get that. This is why I have the Rob Talks channel. There are going to be instances, and it's going to be very common, and I've decided, this is not, my headphones just turned off, and I decided going forward, if there's any entertainment-related news that happens to have drippings or crosses platforms with politics, I'm going to address it. I just want to be forthcoming about that. Should have mentioned that at the beginning, but I want to be very clear now. I'm not going to tiptoe around entertainment-related topics that happen to have political jargon or political incisions within it. I'm not doing it anymore. That's it. That's how I'm going to run this channel. That's how it's going to be going forward. So if you don't like politics in your entertainment, don't get mad at me. Get mad at the people who keep forcing it down your throat, because this is where we are now. This is another reason that I made this decision going forward, because it alienates me from talking about certain big entertainment topics that happen to be surrounded by politics. In this case, some sort of foreign policy. This is a very common thing happening in Hollywood right now, and not just Hollywood, even gaming, okay? Where it comes to a lot of these companies are tied to China in terms of distribution or in terms of filming location. In this case, obviously Mulan. We've had tournaments in the past, gaming tournaments, where Chinese players or players from Hong Kong have expressed support for Hong Kong democracy. Then they get banned. This is a Blizzard story that happened last year, where Blizzard banned a Hong Kong player for saying, free Hong Kong. He didn't get any winnings. They booted him off. They banned him. Again, these are things happening within entertainment now. And it's not only going to be related to China, it'll be related to other topics. That's just how it is, guys. This is it. If you don't like this, then you got to speak up. And don't speak to me, because I'm not the one that can change it. Only your voices can. Okay, moving. So I just wanted to get that out of the way before we get into this. So Disney apparently filmed some scenes out there. This is the place where a lot of Muslim minorities have been taken into concentration camps. They've been sterilized. They've been doing hard labor, very slave-like work. And it's believed that up to 1 million people have been taken into these encampments. So the idea that Disney is thanking this very city and the law enforcement there that has actually taken these Muslim people into custody in these concentration camps, and then on top of that, actually filming at these locations. There's even a rumor, I haven't confirmed this, so I just want you to know that this is not confirmed. This is only something I've heard, so it's pure speculation. But I'm even hearing that some of the scenes filmed for the movie were actually filmed at the time they were empty, but were actually filmed in gulags that are now holding some of these Muslim people. So, and then you add to this that the lead actress of this movie, whose name I don't recall and I don't care to be quite honest. So if you're looking for accuracy, I apologize. I don't care to remember her name. Spoke out against democracy in Hong Kong, spoke in favor of what China was doing. That got her a lot of bad press when it happened last year, and it has resurfaced, obviously, this past weekend as the movie has been released. It is going to be very hard for any entertainment industry to break away from China. It is not something that's going to happen overnight. It's something that will have to happen from the companies, no matter how much people boycott. And I'll tell you why. China will continue to pay and invest in companies here for a multitude of reasons. Number one, possibly good business practice. Probably is. I'm sure it is for them. Number two, to keep tidings and connections here. That's what they want. And as long as a lot of these companies are making a huge profit there, there's no motivation for them to leave. It doesn't matter how much you boycott. Literally everyone and their mother would have to boycott for it to happen. And we're just not there yet because this country in and of itself is divided, even in terms of entertainment. Even in terms of entertainment, there's a division. There's a group of people in entertainment who they don't care about what kind of movies made. They just don't want political messages forced down their throat. And then you have people on the other side who believe everything in entertainment and the arts should have some semblance of politics in it. I disagree with that. I believe politics should be left on the curbside while people have 2 hours to escape the real world for a little while and enjoy some entertainment. We're not going to get that. We're not going to get that for quite some time. It sucks. I hate it. I wish it didn't happen. But that's the game now, guys. That's how it is. There's nothing we can do right now other than to speak out against it, say your piece, and reserve your complaints for elsewhere other than my comment section, because I know there's going to be people who say, oh, well, why are you bringing up politics? Well, you know what? I don't want to bring them up. But what choice do I have? If I want to talk entertainment, a lot of it's invaded there. So that's just how it's going to be. So don't get mad at me. I'm just a messenger. So with that said, I don't know how Mulan's going to do. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people who are going to watch it. I don't think, based on all this controversy, I can't see it doing well, but who knows? Disney always finds a way to make money one way or the other. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to watch it just out of sheer curiosity. And that's how it is. And that's how it is. We'll see how things go. Now, I do want to give credit to one company, and that is the developer of PUBG. They have recently separated themselves from Tencent. Now, for those of you who don't know, Tencent is a huge conglomerate out of China that owns a lot of assets, particularly in gaming in this country. And one of the motivating factors for PUBG to do this is because India is banning anything China or Tencent related. PUBG did not want to get banned in India, so they broke off with Tencent. Good stuff for them. India, as many people know, right now have very, very bad relations with China. They've had skirmishes on their border. So we'll see how things go. But everything in entertainment has a connection to China, unfortunately. And on top of that comes the politics. And it sucks. That's just how it is. All right. So I would like to end this with a bullshit segment.
Attention, this is not a test. Do not adjust your computer. This is an ETN bullshit alert.
All right, so very, very exciting that we are getting The Mandalorian at the end of October. I can't wait. I loved season 1. We will be following and reviewing The Mandalorian on this channel, season 2, that is. Gina Carano is a lovely woman. She's gorgeous. She can probably kick my ass. And I have to say, I've been watching her, not every movie, but I've been watching her ever since she got into acting. And she has gotten so much better that I feel that what she's been doing in The Mandalorian is a big improvement over what she's done in the past. She very slowly got good. Little by little, she got better and better. So Gina Carano made a tweet, and I'm going to read it here. It says, "Open up your businesses and churches. Put whatever regulations you want to because that is your right, but open them up. You're telling me COVID-19 knows the difference between a protest or praise and worship? I haven't even been to church in over a decade, but I sure would go now." And she's right. She's right. When we had protests starting, everybody was fine with it. Nobody was worried about COVID. But obviously people will still criticizing anybody who tries to go to church. She got a lot of backlash a lot of heat. This is like the second time they've tried canceling her. So somebody was telling her how she was oppressed or how she's being oppressing, whatever. So she responded by saying, how is oppressing others a good way to take a stand against oppression? Unless this year's chaos is not solely about oppression, and it obviously is not solely about a pandemic, or we'd all be dead. 2020 is an election year. America, take back your freedom, protect the free world. And she's getting hammered home for this. Again, we have a culture now where, and again, this is somebody that's just trying to encourage people to go back out there, open things back up, but do it safely, right? Regulations, social distance. Look, I was talking about AEW wrestling earlier, right? They had people in the audience. There were people. There were actually fans at the show. They were socially distanced. They were wearing masks. There's no reason why you can't have a service where you socially distance people and you have masks on. There's no reason why certain businesses or certain, the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins are going to open the season with fans in the stands, socially distanced, masked. I think it was a very, very reasonable tweet. Nothing offensive about it. Nothing controversial about it. And she gets destroyed. Why? Because we have a culture now that either obsesses or looks to destroy celebrities. But it depends what kind of celebrity you are. If you're a celebrity that puts a black box up and says BLM, if you're a celebrity that kowtows to everything that the left or these crazy lunatics want, they will worship you. Brie Larson is a prime example of this. Brie Larson has said all the right things in Hollywood. If you go to Brie Larson's Twitter page, it is flooded with fans trying to suckle at the teat of Brie Larson just to get any kind of reaction from her. However, if you're someone like Gina Carano, who's just speaking honestly and openly about your opinion and how you want people to go out there and support their churches and their businesses, you are destroyed on Twitter. And not just Twitter, but also in articles. Here's one today from Bleeding Cool. And this is not the only one. This is not limited to Bleeding Cool News. Bleeding Cool News. Now, this goes back. I'm going to switch up here real quick. This goes back to my earlier point. You got entertainment and you got politics invading entertainment. When you go to Bleeding Cool News, you don't go to Bleeding Cool News to see what they have to say about Gina Carano and her opinions. You go there to find the latest news on movies, maybe a TV show, and specifically with Bleeding Cool, maybe a horror movie coming out, things like that. But no. Here's what Ray Fluke, and we'll read a little bit of this because it gets pretty ridiculous. With all due respect to the Mandalorian series creator, director, and EP Jon Favreau, the Disney live-action Star Wars spin-off series was having a little too easy heading into the second season. On October 30th, we're not sure how the Mouse's black helicopters allowed this to happen, but apparently series star Gina Carano, aka Cara Dune, has had all she can stand and can't stand no more. When it comes to the health and safety restrictions regarding the COVID pandemic, that's right, you guessed it, Carano sees policies that restrict large gatherings and situations where people will pretty much be up in each other's faces. That's a fucking lie right out the gate. That's a lie right out the gate. Right out the gate, it's a bullshit. Because she was talking about social distancing and she was talking about people wearing masks and putting in certain regulations to do this the right way. So, full of crap right there.
Bullshit.
So we move on. Where to begin? Aside from the fact that Carano is another prime example of how being really good at one or two things doesn't mean you know jack shit about anything else. Well, there's cat and kettle right there. How am I supposed to believe that Ray Fluke knows more or anything more or less about COVID than Gina Carano? Insane. I know about as much, and he even says it right here, I know about as much about the actual medical science behind COVID as someone who spends their working days in front of a high-tech green screen. This means neither of us know more than what we look up online, though the sites I visit for facts usually aren't also plugging a book or how avocado pits are saying the alphabet backward and can, I mean, this is junk writing. In essence, he even admits that he doesn't know any more about it than maybe she does. But one thing that he failed to mention is that she did mention about reopening things with regulation in hand. And when she says regulation, she means doing the right thing in terms of, you know, if you open a church, maybe allow a couple of people in, you know, per service, make sure they wear masks, things like that. There was nothing wrong with what Gina Carano said. And I find it absolutely insane that these entertainment websites, because it wasn't just Bleeding Cool, I find it insane that they decide to come out here and write this article, this one, for example, about something that shouldn't even be controversial. But that's where we are now. That is your entertainment, ladies and gentlemen. That is your entertainment news websites that you like to go to source new information regarding your favorite movies and TV shows. So I ask you, who are you really mad at if I'm going to come out here and talk about entertainment-related topic that's been poisoned by political matter? Are you going to get mad at me for bringing it up? Or are you going to get mad at these stupid institutions that decide to force it down your throat? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. And that will wrap up this podcast, this episode. Yes. I know he's there. That's why I hit that. Anyway.
Attention, this is not a test. Do not adjust your computer. This is an E.T.N. bullshit alert.
Oh, I bet you thought it stopped there. No, there's always more bullshit. Okay? There's always more bullshit. So, oh my God, I lost it here. Bear with me, crowd. I'll edit this out in the final copy. But bear with me, guys, as I pull up what I lost just a second ago. Okay. And it is entertainment related, so. Oh, Jesus Christ. Don't worry, chat. I'll get with you in a second. I lost my page. It's all right. First episode errors. That's the beauty of editing. We can edit this out later so everything looks smooth. Everything just goes smoothly. Or I can just record it later and skip it here and get to you guys. So that's what we're going to do, because now I can't find it. It's something I pulled up earlier today, and now it's gone. Everything was going so smoothly right up until the end. Oh, well. I'm still looking, because you guys know how stubborn I am. I'll keep looking, and I'll keep looking. All right, we'll end it there. I'll get it fixed tomorrow. So, all right, guys. Well, that is going to do it for this episode of the E.T.N. podcast. I want to thank you guys for listening. Take it easy. Be safe.
Thank you for listening to Entertainment Talk Nation. Don't forget to rate and follow and visit us on YouTube at ETN, where you can subscribe to the channel for daily content.
All right, Chad, I'm back. What's up, guys? Yeah, now you see me. Couldn't see me before, right? I was there the whole time. I didn't go anywhere. I was there the whole time. What's up, guys? Now y'all can say hi. Yep. Hey, Rob, where do you go to get the voice actors for these segments? Fiverr. And it's very inexpensive, you know? Like something like that, the intro. Well, I got to change that now because I'm not in Boston anymore. But something like that costs like maybe, because he added the music and the sound effects. So that costs maybe $25, maybe $20. Hi, Omni. How are you? Speaking of Mandalorian, did you see the new set pics for season 2? I did. Oh, that's something I forgot to bring up. I actually had that here, but I forgot to write it down in my notes. I had a whole sheet here that I was filling out for tonight's show, and I was updating it as the day went, and I forgot to put in the pictures. So I wish celebrities talked about China as much as they posted about black squares. That's a good one. That's very true. I've had a great experiences contracting out work on Fiverr. Yeah, Fiverr is good for that, and Upwork is also good, but it's not as heavy with media. It's more like direct work, like people who do like typing for you and more administrative work. Fiverr is more for the creative space. Oh, thanks, Aztec. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm gonna get it updated. I was originally gonna start doing this next week, but I didn't want to wait that long because I'm still trying to clear that area over there. I want to set my stuff. I want to set things up to kind of similar to where I had it in my old house, because even though I got some nice stuff back here, you really can't see it. So I want to bring it closer to me. So I'm gonna put it like on my side, and I'm gonna put the camera back at an angle like it used to be before. I should hire them to voice act for Kinky Dora. I heard the Darksaber gonna be in season 2 of Mandalorian. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. So sorry for the screw up at the end. I had a page open. I can't even remember what it was. And I lost it. I don't know how I lost it, but I did. It's gonna bother me now. It's gonna bother me now that I couldn't find it. It's going to be bothering me big time. I'm more excited for Ahsoka. Yeah. Yeah, that should be a lot of fun. I can't remember because I pulled it up earlier in the day, but I have notes here. What's going on, Scum? I have notes here that I've been dotted. So basically, I go out through the day, working on my stuff, doing my videos for Rob Talks, getting content to do for ETN, and I have notes here. I have bullet points, things that I want to talk about on the show. So there were 2 things I forgot to add. One were the pictures that Mike brought up. I forgot to add, otherwise, because I was going off the notes the whole show. And then the other one was another bullshit story that I can't remember because I didn't put it on my notes. And I remembered it last minute. That's why I was hitting the wrong buttons. And I thought I had the page open, and I didn't. I left the page. Bringing in all these Clone Wars characters. I want the show to be about Mando, Baby Yoda, and new characters instead of shrinking the Star Wars universe. Well, from what they're saying, they're not actually shrinking it. They're going to expand on it. Jon Favreau said that it's going to feel a lot larger. It's not going to feel as isolated as first season. And the first season was very isolated. Look into your search history. No, that's dangerous. No, because, I mean, I could, I guess, but I have so many things on there. God knows where it is. The reason I lost the tab is because I tend to restart my computer before I do a stream. And what I do is, like I said, when I take my notes, I put the links to the website I want to go to or the website I want to refer to underneath the bullet point of the topic I want to discuss. So again, I forgot to put 2 topics along with that 2 links. And I had opened up all the links I needed right before the show. And I thought I had that one and I didn't because I got rid of it and I restarted it and I never saved it. Yeah, I don't know how they're going to do all the cameos in such a few episodes. Well, we'll see. Yeah, all right. I mean, if I find, I'll look for it later. I mean, I'm not going to go through it now because, you know, I don't want to be rude. I already searched for like a good 3 minutes. So if I can't remember it off the top of my head, it probably wasn't as important as the one I addressed. How is the question? How is what question? According to sources, they're going to start shifting focus at the mid-season, kind of like how Game of Thrones would jump between stories and who it focused on. Really? That wouldn't be very smart. I don't think that would work. I didn't read that. Um, yeah. Let me see. I mean, look, man. When I played Avengers yesterday, I had a great time with it. But having to wait that long to finally experience the multiplayer was ridiculous. It was just ridiculous. Um, what's the next relevant game coming out? What's the next big one coming out? I can't. I can't. I mean, I know Cyberpunk's coming out. Squadrons. Oh. Ugh. Yeah, I guess I gotta play that. Yeah, we're already. I mean, I'll play Ghost of Tsushima because I want to play it, but I got to think about doing content, and Ghost of Tsushima's already had its run. Um, Black Ops 5. Oof. I got it reserved for $40. Maybe I can do it. $40 is not bad. Maybe I can tolerate that. No, I haven't. I haven't had time to look at them in detail. So many games have been delayed. I don't know. Besides Squadron, Cyberpunk, and Spider-Man: Miles Morales. Spider-Man, I'll definitely do. Um, I mean, by any chance, can we hop on as a squad, Rob? A squad for what? A squad for squadrons, or is that what you're asking? Yeah, I don't see why not. Hyrule Warriors Calamity War just got announced today, and that's coming out in November. Uh, I'm stuck on Scorpion and Rhino boss fight. Dune trailer comes out tomorrow. Okay, that'll be a good thing to cover tomorrow night. Thank you, Mike. Acno, are you talking about Spider Man? Oh God, I gotta finish that game. If I can remember where the hell I put it, I think it's in storage. Call of Duty multiplayer reveal tomorrow. I hope it's good. I don't know. Do I really want to buy Call of Duty? I don't know. I don't know. I haven't even played Warzone since that first week I started playing it. I haven't even played Warzone. Yeah, no, I know Spider Man's good. I gotta finish it. Yeah, that won't be coming out for a while. Probably not till where we 2023 maybe. You only play Infected. What is that? The zombie thing? Uh, Zombie Tag. I got this new game called Man Eater, where you basically play as a shark. Oh yeah, Man Eater. Yeah, I've heard of that game. Ugh. Oh, did I? I have to change this. I remember playing zombie mode. I forget which Call of Duty it was. New Oscar rules about Best Picture? What's that? Oh, I hope it's not some crazy. What's the new rule? Let me see if I can find it before you type it. Oh, here it is. Oscars shake up Best Picture eligibility standards. Strict new diversity requirements take full effect in 2024. As promised, when the Academy of Motion Picture Art and Sciences announced its Academy Aperture 2025 initiative in June, new standards of representation and inclusion have been announced by AMPAS today that will gradually be put into place for the 94th, 95th Oscars, but in full effect beginning the 96th. In this most dramatic swing toward true diversity, Oscar is laying down significant requirements in order to be eligible for Hollywood's most sought-after prize, Best Picture. Having at least one Asian, Hispanic, Latin, Black, Indigenous, Native American, Alaskan Native, Middle Eastern, North African, Native Hawaiian, or other Pacific Islander, or unspecified other underrepresented race or ethnicity as a lead or significant supporting actor is a potential requirement under the new guidelines, with those ethnicities almost mentioned for prominent production and marketing jobs. Additionally, employing women, LGBTQ members of a racial or ethnic group, and people with cognitive or physical disabilities or who are deaf or hard of hearing might be required for at least 30% of actors in secondary or more minor roles. Having a storyline centered on an underrepresented group, hiring creative leadership and department heads, maintaining at least 30% crew composition, paid internships, and representation in marketing and distribution are all potential areas in order to be a Best Picture contender. Producers don't have to meet all the requirements of the new doctrine, just half. Long relying on the industry itself to make diversity a significant part of the way they make movies. So now, what you're going to have is you're going to have production companies that are going to go out there and purposefully hire someone based on their color or their race, not based on their skill. That's what's going to happen. So that means if you're a white person with 10 years in experience of costumes, but you don't have the right gender class or you don't have the right skin color, someone with less experience who fits the category is going to get the job. That's where we're going now. This is absolutely ridiculous. Now, I probably shouldn't care so much because I don't watch the Oscars anymore. It's basically all the celebrities ass-licking each other. A gross oversimplification? All right, explain to me then how else you're going to see... Goodbye Married, exactly. All right, so tell me what your definition of this is, if mine's is an oversimplification. Because if you have a production company and if you have a director who feel very strongly about a story they have, and they are aware now that they have to hire a certain percentage of minority talent, what makes you think that this isn't going to happen at least once? The fact of the matter is, laying down rules, forcing people to be diverse, is putting them in a position to make a decision that's not coming from a place of talent or natural selection. Now, when these people are casting and when they're hiring their production team, they're going to be keeping in mind, I have to hire a Spanish person, or I have to hire a gay person, or I have to hire a Spanish black gay person. It's not how it should be. That's not how it should be. What happens if one group is represented more than others? Now they have to change rules to accommodate. We'll just have to see. Right now, it seems extreme and draconian because this is untested. I'm sure it'll either be ironed out or dropped altogether. Yeah, I'm going to go with it's not going to be dropped and it's not going to be ironed out. And we're never really going to know because when somebody makes a decision on who to hire, we're not in their head. We don't know what they're thinking. But the idea that you are required now to hire someone of color or someone of a certain sexual orientation just to have an opportunity to win an award is absolutely absurd. It's absolutely absurd. People need to be hired. I mean, that's what Martin Luther King said. I mean, that is exactly what he said. He wants people to be judged by their character and not the color of their skin. Meanwhile, we are implementing rules and regulations that are doing just that, forcing people to be hired by the color of their skin or their sexual orientation. And of course, we'll never know whether they made that decision based on that because we're not in their heads. But I feel pretty safe to say that it's going to be an influence in some decision making. I just cannot with award shows. It just comes off as a bunch of self-serving narcissism. It's exactly what it is. For one but Jonesy, it shouldn't be acceptable for any category. Just because it's one category doesn't mean it's okay. You shouldn't be hiring people based on the color of their skin or their sexual orientation. You should be hiring people based on their talent, based on their skill set, based on their experience. That's how it should be. That's how it always should be. I don't want people to hire me because, well, he's Spanish, so we need to fill the quota. That's not a good feeling. I mean, maybe, I don't know if you're white but as a minority, I'm highly offended by that. By the idea that someone's going to hire me because I fit a statistical demographic as opposed to hiring me because of my skill set. It's the most offensive thing you could ever do to somebody. It's ridiculous. It's the most offensive thing you could do to somebody a minority and someone who's not a minority. Because you're basically telling someone who's white, well, your skin color is too light, so we can't hire you. You don't fit the demographic or the quota. It's ridiculous. So basically, they want people to be hired based on race, which is just another form of racism. Yeah, bingo. It's exactly what it is. Where is this company? Where is the Academy Motion Picture Arts and Sciences? I have a feeling they're in California, which would be funny considering that California I think they just amended civil right. California. Of course. It's funny how this happened shortly after there was amendment on the Civil Rights Act of segregation in California. Basically, the reason they did that in California was because black people wanted to be able to hire only black people. That's a whole nother story, though. Yep, they did amend civil rights laws. And people cheered for that, which is insane. It's just fucking insane. People are so dumb these days. They don't realize what they're losing. Disgusting. It's fucking disgusting. It's them saying, hey, you're a minority and we don't have faith in you to earn the way up, so we're just going to give it to you. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And that's why it's insulting. I remember that the popular Oscar category got hammered upon unveiling, though. If this is seen as exclusionary, it won't stand. And I agree with you on it when you bring the hires you, not ethnicity. Yeah. Which is why I have an issue with it. It's bad. You were right to bring it up. Yeah, it was a good thing to bring up. This is another form of cultural ideology and politics. Once again, invading entertainment. It's a constant thing. It's a constant thing. People don't realize that the Oscars are the ones nominate the films, not the ones making the films. Yeah. Well, they're elite. They're a club, and we're not in it. After this really gets out there, I mean, the Oscar ratings have been dropping irregardless. I can't see them going any further than this. Oh, they have the whole breakdown here. Standard A on-screen representation, themes, and narratives. To achieve Standard A, the film must meet one of the following criteria. A1, lead or significant supporting actors. At least one of the lead actors or significant supporting actors must be from an underrepresented racial or ethnic group. Asian, Hispanic, Latin, Black, African American, Indigenous, Native American, and Alaskan Native, Middle Eastern, North African, Native Hawaiian or other Pacific Islander, other underrepresented race. So for your movie on the standard, on according to this, I'll pull it up so you guys can see it too. For your movie to be considered, all right, to achieve Standard A, the film must meet one of the following criteria. A1, a lead or significant supporting actor must be of minority. A2, general ensemble cast. At least 30% of all actors in secondary and more minor roles are from at least two of the following underrepresented groups: woman, racial or ethnic group, LGBTQ, people with cognitive or physical disabilities who are deaf or hard of hearing. A3, main storyline and subject. The main storyline, theme, or narrative of the film is centered on an underrepresented group. So your story, if you don't meet any of these two criteria, right here, A1 or A2, then your story must be about an underrepresented group. So let's say you're doing a dramatic film about two brothers of war. Let's say it's made in, I don't know, World War I. So because your main actor and your supporting actor are probably two white men, that excludes A1. That excludes A2 unless 30% of the minor actors and characters are any of these right here. So in this case, you might meet that 30% threshold if you focus on the black people that were working in the kitchen during World War I. If you don't meet this 30%, now your main story that is World War I centered, if it doesn't have a lead character that isn't white, or if it doesn't have a lead character that isn't a woman or a minority, then, and if it doesn't have a 30% of its cast that are either women, racial, LGBTQ, or people with physical disabilities, now your World War I story that includes two men that were fighting war together, these are your two main characters, now the story must center around a woman, racial or ethnic group, LGBTQ, or people with physical disabilities. You see where the problem is? You see what the issue is there? Okay, let's go to standard creative leadership. Okay, so now standard B is creative leadership and project team. To achieve standard B, the film must meet one of the criteria below. B1, creative leadership and department heads. At least two of the following creative leadership positions and department heads: casting director, cinematographer, composer, costume designer, director, editor, hairstylist, makeup artist, producer, production designer, set decorator, sound and visual effects supervisor, writer are from the following underrepresented groups: women, racial or ethnic group, LGBTQ, or people with physical disabilities. When was the last time you saw a black composer? Anyone? And please, seriously, let me know, because I don't know of any. I haven't seen a black composer. Are there any black composers out there? I guess if you want to consider RZA, I mean, he did compose the soundtrack for Kill Bill, but has he done any other movies? How many black composers we have out there? How many casting directors are not women? Most women are casting directors. Yeah, I'm just using that as an example. Obviously, there are plenty of positions here that we will find minorities. So what about... Okay, wait, there's more. At least one of those positions must belong to the following underrepresented racial or ethnic group: Asian, Hispanic, Latin, so on and so forth. So two creative leadership positions must meet this criteria here. And at least one of those positions must belong to one of the ethnicities here. White people in Hollywood are going to lose a lot of work. Other key roles, B2. At least 6 other crew or team and technical positions, excluding production assistants, are from an underrepresented racial or ethnic group. These positions include, but are not limited to, first aid or ad, gaffer, script supervisor. At least, so 6 roles have to go to them. Overall crew composition must be 30% of the film's crew is from the following underrepresented group: women, racial, ethnic background, LGBTQ. So 30% of your crew and 30% of your actors must be from anything that's not white or man, because they want women. So if you're a white man, you're not getting work in any movie that has the potential to win Best Picture. Standard C, industry access and opportunities. To achieve Standard C, the film must be both criteria below. C1, paid apprenticeship and internship opportunities. Paid apprenticeship and internship opportunities. The film's distribution or financing company has paid apprenticeships or internships that are from the following underrepresented groups and satisfy the criteria below: woman, racial or ethnic group, LGBTQ, people with physical disabilities. So if you're a talented young director, let's say D-Man. D-Man's going to filming school. His chances of landing an internship or an apprenticeship on a movie that potentially might win Picture of the Year, he's not getting it. And it's not because of his skill set. It's because he doesn't meet that criteria. That is the most fucked up thing I've ever seen. This is fucking nuts. This is nuts. It's nuts. Unreal. That's unreal. Well, that's where we're at now. And that's not where it's going to stop, especially in California, since they amended the civil rights, that portion of the civil rights that is against segregation. Because this is segregation, basically. Yeah, I'm going to. It doesn't affect any of the other categories right now. That's why I'm emphasizing Best Picture only, because it's only for Best Picture. But imagine if you're, imagine not having the opportunity to work on a Best Picture film as an actor or a crew member or whatever, because you don't have the right skin color or the right sexual orientation. It's fucked up. That's insane. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's gonna start with Best Pictures and it's gonna roll. You know what they say, shit rolls downhill. And this is shit. Well, if you're a white man, kiss your Hollywood career goodbye. Otherwise, you should be okay. So that means as a fat Puerto Rican man, I could probably go to Hollywood right now and get a job. Because I meet a statistical demographic. That's insane. Well, yeah, if he has a disability, I guess he's okay. Well, Aztec, doesn't matter what you want. They just want you for the color of your skin, bud. The fact that you would have, the fact that you would do any good work would be a bonus for them. It wouldn't be expected, which is sad. So if they hired you because of the color of your skin and you actually went in there and killed it, oh, they'd be happy as shit because you delivered. They weren't expecting you to. That's fucking unreal. Unreal. Yeah, I know. That's it, Chris. If you're white, just go in there and be like, yo, I'm actually Spanish right now. That's right. You'll be seeing a lot of indie movies and a lot of indie movies winning awards. I'm going to bookmark this. Can't believe it. I'm in disbelief right now after reading that and highly offended. Yeah, that is definitely some bullshit. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. And I'm not one to spit out the word offensive very much. I'm not easily offended. But that right there, whew, talk about racism. Racism right in front of our eyes, everybody celebrates. Somebody does something that's not racist, they're racist. It's so backwards. Well, the only thing you can do is your part. And that would be saying how much you don't like it or disagree with it or find it offensive And that's all you can do for now until yourself and other people speak up all together as one collective. Nothing's going to be done. Can you claim being white as a disability yet, as much as they claim that we are all evil? Might as well. I don't see how it can hurt at this point. You know what I would do? If I got hired as an actor in a movie that won Best Picture, I would accept the award, and I would go to the mic and say, I want to thank everybody, and I just want to let everybody know I identify as a white man. Just to see what people say. You Uncle Tom. I'm very happy as a white man to be winning this award. Go Whitey. Oh, you want to talk about canceled? I'll probably get murdered. Oh my God. Start running away and be like, ah! Oh man. I can picture it. And the award goes to Robert Rosado for Sun Over Miami. This came up with that. Come up like, I love to thank my beautiful wife who's supporting me the whole time. She actually identifies as a male. I'd like to thank the Academy, my cast, the crew who worked so hard, even though they didn't know what the fuck they were doing because, some of them that applied for the job came from Compton, high school dropouts, but they did the best they could. And they're part of this award too. And I want to let the world know that as of being hired for this movie, I identify as a 55-year-old white male. And I would make sure they played that exact tune as I walk away walk away. It's exactly what I would do. I would even have the guy, make sure you play this after my speech. I know Brie Larson's all tight, like, ah! It'd be more, what? A black fellow identifies as a white. Oh, that'd be worse. Surprise Tom Hanks in the crowd. Oh, I'll just identify as Tom Hanks, then everybody would be cool with it. I know, right? Uncle Ruckus. Sun Over Miami. I just randomly came up with that, Mike. Don't look too deep into it, all right? Don't let your brain fry, okay?
Mike.
Yeah, if I identify as Tom Hanks, nobody can hate me. That's not allowed. You can't hate Tom Hanks. Crazy shit. There's got to be someone who hates Tom Hanks. I'm sure there is. Plus, yeah, COVID. I'm waiting for the Lifetime movie about that. Yeah, right? Doesn't he have a movie coming out? He has a movie coming out. I saw the commercial for it the other day. When are you going to do a conspiracy stream again? Never. It's going to be all entertainment all the time. It's a new era for E.T.N. We're going to be talking about all aspects of entertainment. I made it very clear at the beginning of the stream. I'm being serious. I was pretty clear at the beginning of the stream where I'm going now. No SCP dildo stream. No. Nope. What you got today is what you're getting 4 days a week. Saturday will be freeform. So maybe Saturday, Mike. We could talk about conspiracies on Saturday. But Tuesday through Friday is all podcast. That's it. That's how I'm doing it. And if you don't make the stream, don't worry, because all the highlights will be... Nope, Lenny's gone. Lenny's retired. I can't do 3 channels. I can only do 2. Something had to go. I think the only thing I'm going to do with Lenny is I might change the bullshit segments to highlight him, and that's about it. We'll see. We'll see what the news crops up, and I'll put it all together, and tomorrow will be another episode. Yeah, he's way too busy to stream every night. Rob, there's going to be some changes around here. Oh, so Saturdays are conspiracy streams now? No. Saturdays are free form. If you want to bring up a conspiracy for me to discuss, we can discuss it. Like, I'm not against talking about conspiracies on Saturday. Saturdays, you can do whatever the fuck you guys want. But Tuesday through Fridays is going to be what you got today. That's it. And some of them might be longer than today. Today was about, 45 minutes? The only guy who can stream a game once and still be successful. Yeah, Lenny can do whatever the fuck he wants. He's just that dude. Sandbox Saturdays. There you go. Since we're changing the format so much, what I'll do on Saturdays, I'll make the streams longer. I'll make it like 3 hours or 4 hours instead. We're not going to be doing the Godzilla movies anymore. That's gone. That's done. I gotta shift away from Godzilla. I gotta shift away from that. Godzilla is going to be part of the news now. He's not going to be the news. Yeah, sorry, Childish. I am being serious. Oh, we'll still do game streams, but I'll probably do them on a Saturday. Have you been to Denny's? I love Denny's. I'm now part of the news. What are you talking about? I was talking entertainment. I gave a review for Avengers. I gave a short review on The Boys. What more do you want? I still want the Godzilla watch alongs. Well, want in one hand, shit in the other, see which one weighs more. This is how we're doing it. I can't keep bouncing around and trying to do different things that I'm not happy with. I want to talk about entertainment, and that's it. And that means entertainment of all forms. There are your most popular streams where I get rid of them. Which stream? My streams, one stream is never more popular than the other. I wish I could include porn, Jack. You kidding? It's the rules. That's right. I need to get that soundbite. So you will never do another watch along? Maybe on a Saturday. We'll see. Right now, I don't want to overcomplicate it, which is what I've been doing for the past so many years. I'll try one thing, and then 6 weeks later, I change and I try something else, and I just want to simplify it. I want to talk entertainment. End of the story. That's it. I'd love a hentai channel without Kinky Dora, though. Yeah, good luck with that. Why not just make Saturdays watch-alongs then? Because maybe I don't want to do a watch-along on a Saturday. Maybe I just want to chill and talk shit with you guys. Well, except you, Mike, but everybody else. We need the Godzilla watch-alongs. We need them. No. You need them, Mac. No. Right now is a perfect time for me to try to kind of break away from Godzilla and establish things in a more general perspective. Farewell, watch along, Amazing Grace. How sweet the sound. It's not the end of the world, guys. You got plenty of Godzilla focused channels. There's so many of them. I haven't even done a Godzilla video in God knows how long. And every time I did one, I just felt, I don't know, I didn't feel good about them. Like, it's like, I feel like I'm forcing the issue. Like, I'm only doing it because I know people will watch it. Well, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to do stuff. I know it's not going to get a lot of views, but it's like starting from scratch. And I'm not going to, Nazuki, what was it, like 2 weeks ago? Yeah, I'm sure I could do tons of clickbait videos with Godzilla's in the title for me to come around and do like a 2-minute video like, yeah, that's what it's all about, guys. See you later. That's kind of why I did that little meme in the beginning of the stream. I didn't even get to see how you guys reacted to that. Damn. I'm going to have to watch later. I don't know if people laughed or if they poofed. Let me see. Hold on. I don't have anything to talk about in regards to Godzilla. Then I have no videos to do. It took me a little while to really kind of remember what motivated me to start this channel, and that doesn't mean that Godzilla will never have a home here. Obviously, he will, but I will say he will never have a home here like he did before. And I want to make that very clear from the outset of this new podcast episode. We're starting fresh. And I want people to know that Godzilla will always have videos done here, but it will never be like it was back in the day. And I want to make that very clear, and I want to be very forthcoming. Everything regarding entertainment will be discussed on this channel going forward. And where I can do reviews, I will. But I am not going to review anything I have no interest in, and I'm not going to follow the trends. I am going to do this because I love it. I'm going to talk about shows and movies that I am interested in and that I enjoy. And I will likely not be following any kind of trend or nothing will be motivated because it's the popular thing. If I don't like it, I don't like it. And if I don't like it, I won't be talking about it. With that said, let's get into Godzilla. So let's talk some Godzilla news, huh? Yeah. Yep, so what do we have for Godzilla vs. Kong in terms of news? Well, to be quite honest, absolutely nothing. And that's just how I want to start and set the tone here. Sorry, Godzilla. Sorry about that. Absolutely nothing to talk about Godzilla, so let's move on. I want to start by talking about the... Oh, man. I had a feeling you would end them during the Heisei series. Yeah, I'm going to that's going to go up on the channel tomorrow. That's going up. I'm breaking all that shit down in the morning and putting it up on the channel throughout the day. Am I going to do NFL watch parties? No. No, I'm probably not going to cover sports very much at all because it requires a little bit too much time going through the stats, remembering every player on every team that has significance. I'd have to dedicate the whole channel to sports. I'm not going to do that. Don't worry, you guys will get Godzilla videos down the road. You're just not going to get them now. There's nothing to talk about now. I mean, yeah, I can do more creative, I guess, kind of like what Dangerville does and come up with, but I just don't want to do that anymore. God, my mind is fried with Godzilla now. I'm done with it. I'm fried with Godzilla. It's like, ugh. You got to remember, my son's a fanatic. I hear that shit all day. All day. He's always talking about Godzilla. No, you really think Dangerville sucks? I think their videos are good. Who do you guys got? You guys got D-Man, you got Altiori, you got Dangerville, you got Omniviewer, you got Mr. H, you got who else? Who am I missing? You got a bunch of big YouTubers that are Godzilla stuff. Tenold, I forget his first name. You got him. You got tons of Godzilla content creators. Triassic Iceman, you guys got a ton of Godzilla content creators. Let my son make a Godzilla video? You watch Mr. H, you bastard. Well, I appreciate that, Severio. I appreciate that, Severio, but, Yeah, Brandon Teno, that's what I was talking about. You got him. There's so many. And they're all pumping out content way more than I am in regards to Godzilla. Yeah, I know, Mike. I heard you talk about it earlier. Remember I said we check it out tomorrow night. Yeah, I love fantasy football. It's so fun. I'm just messing with you, Mr. O. You can watch whoever you want. I don't care. I don't give a shit. What is this? The editing and quality of Dangerville's videos are top notch. Mr. H is poopy. Dangerville's videos are fine. Mostly Altiori is a meme. She's most not really good, and she missed good suggestions that I suggested. And there's also the other stuff I gave that's good ideas too. But wow, James, don't be so modest. Just because you think the idea is good doesn't mean anyone else does. You ever thought about that? My God. I used to watch him for Alien all the time. I watch him every now and then. Altiori just doesn't click with me. Click, click. Give me the click. Taking some time off is definitely better. Won't be as good if you're not enjoying making the videos. There's no news anyway now. And there's nothing. Godzilla right now is as dry as a 90-year-old vagina. Any thoughts of changing your logo and intro? Man, I've changed them so much. I felt I was doing good by just keeping it the same. I had a good idea once. Then I drank a case of beer and forgot it. You motherfucker. Rum needs a vacation from us hooligans. Nah, cobwebs up in there. Hell yeah. No amount of KY is going to fix that 90-year-old JJ. Hey, Rob, since the new Oscar news come out, you could star in my future movie and win Best Picture. You motherfucking racist bastard. And you're supposed to be Spanish? You motherfucker. Actually, you meet the threshold just if you're a director, so you don't even need me. You don't even need me. Nobody wants 90-year-old JJ. Ooh. Best news we get to see now is Nancy Pelosi washing her hair illegally. That is great news. Oh, absolutely. I love Breaking Bad. That was a great show. I'm not trying to, but it's a long list of reasons why I don't like her content that much. She's mostly weird, but there's times I visit her channel to watch her videos, so I'm getting used to her. She just has her own style. Her own creative style. There's nothing wrong with that. I know absolutely nothing about Dune because I don't have any interest. We'll see if that changes when I see the trailer. But I more or less know what the story's about. Didn't she make a what if Mothra was pregnant or something? Rob, you should do story times. Just a suggest. What do you mean story times? Like you guys want me to read like where the wild things are or some shit like that? And now, story time with Rob Rosado. Today, we're reading Where the Wild Things Are, a story about a little brat who didn't want to go to bed, and was it he didn't want to go to bed? Who was sent to bed without supper, and visits an island of monsters who, for some reason, do not eat him. I think I've told all my crazy stories from the past. Did you hear that Gamera's Arrow collection is already pretty much out of stock across the board? Oh, no, I didn't hear that. Yes, Altiori made like a whole weird theory of Mothra being pregnant with an egg. Well, I mean, she's laid eggs, so she'd have to be pregnant to do that, right? I think, right? That's a form of pregnancy. I mean, it's not in her womb, but... Just curious, speaking of story time, have you started your next book? I have not. I'm kind of concentrating on finding a place to live right now. That's like my main focus before I start investing in my second book. Got to make sure that money goes to a place to live first. But believe me, I'm going to do it. That's something I'm not giving up. I just need to find a way to actually market the book myself, because the way things are now, no one's going to take my book, even if I am Spanish. They're gonna assume that I'm internally racist because there's one might be black character, and even though my main female character is a woman, she's not gay or a minority. So, so the odds are stacked against me. I'd have to try and sell that shit myself. I'd be so down for bedtime stories with Rob Rosado. This is like with Godzilla, Rob. She went Godzilla being married to Mothra. Oh, you know, a lot of people were saying, like, I don't think that's out of the ordinary.
It really grows on you, doesn't
I mean, there were plenty of people who were, what?
Kim McCollum subscribed to the channel.
Why does that name sound familiar? That name sounds familiar. I know that name. No, it's not one of my exes. Although my wife's name is Kim. Rob Cooking Channel, bet you make some delicious food. Yeah, if I had done a cooking channel to start with, it'd probably do pretty well. You should do story time for who's afraid of Godzilla.
Idiot. I know. So stupid. Your videos suck.
He probably just accidentally unsubscribed and resubscribed. Jelly French fries. I swear to God, I know that name. Now, no. Oh, well. Maybe it's just somebody with the same name. Who knows? Kim McCollum. Hold on a minute. This is Facebook. I'm not doxing anyone. I just want to see something. Huh. Okay. Rob, read 50 Shades of Grey? Yeah, sure.
It really grows on you, doesn't it?
Oh, Jelly French fries.
Jelly French fries subscribed to the channel.
Hey, Jelly. Thank you for subscribing. Rob, looking up your location. You looking up my location? You guys know where I am. I've told you. The Godzilla's, no, King Kong's not taking over the channel. Team Kong, motherfuckers. Millennial Yoda, hi, yep. Oh, what did Millennial say? He always says some funny shit. Oh, yeah, I see. Who's Kim? Who he that? I don't know. Is this a name that sounded familiar to me? So are you interested in the Kazan Andor series? I think a spy thriller Star Wars show chasing Vader will be cool. I hope so. EDP 445 should be part of E.T.N. What the hell is that? Was that the old manager checking to see if you sorted out the toner? Oh, very funny, Scum. Oh my God. No, her name's not Kim. God, what was her name? Oh, it was Jennifer. Jen. That was my old boss's name. I used to watch all your Godzilla reviews. Oh, hi, Kim. Thanks for subscribing. Well, you'll be disappointed to know that there won't be many Godzilla videos on the channel, at least not at the time, because there's really nothing Godzilla related going on. Yeah, I know, right? That is a blast from the past. The toner story. That's so funny. God, I remember that rant too. I was so upset. So would a 1 hour, 45-minute video on Oprah's tunnels count as entertainment? You don't even know. The first 2 minutes that I heard that story from Mike was entertaining. Mike, I'm surprised you didn't mention the new asteroid they found. There was another one that popped up in the news. They said it's like the size of London or some shit like that, or something similar. I don't know. But I'm surprised you didn't bring it up. It's right up your alley. I don't think it's the one on election. I think this is a new one. That's okay. I'm showing my granddaughter all my Godzilla flicks. Oh, cool. How does she like it so far? The asteroid hit and destroyed Oprah's tunnels. There you go. Oh, you don't need an asteroid to take out California. California is doing fine on their own. The tunnels lead to Area 51. She's in love with Godzilla and Mothra. Ah, very nice. Does she have her favorite movie yet, Kim? Colonoscopy. You don't know if I'll ever watch Gamera now, since Gamera collection is gone now, like it's super out of stock. It'll come back in stock. No, you can't drop xenomorph eggs in Cali. They'll make their way over here. Yeah, if you want to, Mike, just remember to bring it up. Yeah, just bring it up Saturday. We can talk about it. I swear if it's Godzilla's revenge. Oh, well, get out of this, Severio. The Mothra movie from the 90s. Oh, okay, the Mothra trilogy. All right, cool. I don't know if I'm ready to say that yet. But yes, you do hear music, Mr. L. You know what time it is. Okay, we'll be back tomorrow night, 8 o'clock on the dot. Thank you guys for being here with me. I appreciate it. Thank you for all your love and support. I appreciate that as well. And dry your eyes for those of you who are not happy with some of the news I had to lay down earlier in the stream. It's going to be all right. Trust me, you'll see Godzilla videos again. You're just not going to see them as often. Maybe you'll see a lot more of them as we get closer to the movie. But right now, I got to focus on other things that are entertainment related. But you guys have a great night. We'll be back tomorrow. All highlights will be up on the channel tomorrow. And You guys just take care. And I'll see you tomorrow night.
Every passing day, the winds might grow stronger. Joy to light the way to keep the reminder. Every passing day, the winds might grow stronger. Joy to light the way to keep the reminder. I'm yours forever. There is no end in sight for us. Nothing could measure the kind of strength inside our hearts. It's all connected. We're all together in this love. Don't you forget it. We're all connected in this. I'm yours forever. There is no end in sight for us. Nothing could measure the kind of strength inside our hearts. It's all connected. We're all together in this love. Don't you forget it. We're all connected in this love. There is no end in sight for us. We're all connected in this love. Beyond the storms and the seas, the sun